it's been an exciting morning, even though it's been raining heavily in the national capital. But considering India and the national capital are playing host to the G20 summit, despite the rain, there has been no dampener to the spirits of all those world leaders who have turned up in full force at the G20 summit. And so one of them made it a point to keep up with the schedule and visit the Akshardham temple. And I'm talking about the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who's always taken pride in his Indian roots. Also, not to forget, just a day ago, he also requested Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to arrange for a visit to a mandir. He said that he wanted to see a mandir, and so it was done. He's visited the Akshardham temple. We are bringing to you the first images of UK's Prime Minister from Akshardham temple. In fact, as you can see, he's standing there with folded hands, accompanied by the priests, the Hindu priests, 3 on his left and 3 on the right side. We can also see he's been welcomed with a garland over there, and a very wet Akshardham temple over there. Rain trying to play a spoil sport, but it's of course failed to play a spoil sport, because Rishi Sunak very much managed to make it to the temple amid heavy rains which have been lashing Delhi since yesterday. But that doesn't seem to have dampened the spirits of either the summit or the plans of the world leaders, because remember, the world leaders have also have paid a visit to the Rajghat and paid a tribute to the Mahatma as well. And before they did that, UK's Prime Minister paid a visit to Akshardham temple. Important to also talk about how deeply symbolic this image is. Remember, because as I was mentioning earlier, Rishi Sunak, as someone with roots in India, has always taken pride in those Indian roots. Not just that, he's also spoken about how a devout Hindu he is, in a sort, in fact, that he gave to the media. He's also talked about how he missed the celebrations of Janmashtami with full gusto, and that this visit meant a lot to him, considering Rakhi was recently celebrated as well in India. And he speaks about that. Not to forget Akshata Murthy, how her lineage comes from India, and the role that her own parents have played in bringing India to the forefront. I'm also joined by our political editor Pallavi Ghosh, who's joining me live right now. Pallavi, quite a monumental picture over there. The first image, of course, of Rishi Sunak accompanied by the seers at Akshardham temple. There's another image where we see Akshata Murthy's wife accompanying him as well. I can see she's clad in a salwar kameez. Both seem pretty thrilled about their visit to the temple.
And in fact, in private, Rishi Sunak always makes the point that, and jokingly too, and in fact, this is what we are told. He very much said this at the G20 summit yesterday when he was meeting the Indian delegations, also saying that, I'm also called the son-in-law of India. See, flaunting his Indian roots, his connect with India is something which he has never been apologetic about. He's been very proud of that. And if you remember recently, when Murari Babu had gone to UK, Rishi Sunak was very much there at that event. And in fact, he had said, I'm a devout Hindu. I believe in the Hindu traditions as well. So Hinduism, Hindutva, that's something which Rishi Sunak has always kind of flaunted, which is something which he's always been something which is very proud about. The addition of Akshardham into his itinerary was kind of very much what he wanted. I mean, I remember when he was leaving from London for India, he had made it a point that he would want to squeeze some time out to visit an Indian temple. And therefore he did that. Early this morning, before he reached Rajghat, he was accompanied by his wife and he went to Akshardham, and their latest pictures, as you pointed out, Akanksha, are just out. So this is going to have very deep impact, certainly for us, but then also back home in UK. Substantial amount of Indian population, the Swaminarayan population over there, the bhakts and the devotees over there, and there's a reason behind it why, politically speaking, apart from his personal space, that he does want to flaunt and display his Hindu credentials, his love for India, his love for Hinduism, and making the point that I'm proud to be a Hindu as well.
Absolutely, Pallavi. When we talk about making that point, how crucial is it going to be for Rishi Sunak given the current political climate of UK. Remember, UK is also headed to elections very soon. What will this mean for Rishi Sunak, who has to toe a very fine balance between preserving his own Hindu roots and also displaying himself that he's not, as Indian as people of Britain may assume him to be?
So when he became the Prime Minister on UK in somewhat turbulent times, there was also this question asked that would he be even acceptable to the people of UK? And I think that is going to be put to test whenever those elections are going to be coming up. He also became the Prime Minister in very turbulent times in sense of an economic downturn which UK has been facing, as much of developed world has been facing, which is why these visits to India, interaction with India, his connection with India becomes very important, because he would also want to have deep-rooted trade as well as economic ties with his home country. But over there, he very clearly has to send out this his vote bank. I mean, I think if he decides to run in, he would certainly want to capitalize and tap a large number of Indian population over there, and to make the point that, I can be acceptable to both the ways, to the Brits, of course, and of course to the Indian population over there, and I should not be seen as a contradiction. I think that explains why it's a concerted strategy on the part of Rishi Sunak to ensure that, he is projects himself as a Hindu leader, as someone who's proud of his Indian as well as Hindu roots.
Absolutely. Abhishek, if I could bring you in on this aspect, something, because whenever it comes to, being a shrewd negotiator, he can be that, something that he's also displayed when the FTA negotiations were taking place. All right, we'll try and take that question from Siddhant, who continues to stay with us. Siddhant, as I was talking, it's been a matter of fine balance, something that quality can be seen when we talk about Rishi Sunak being a shrewd negotiator.
Well, yes, that's right, and he knows his priority very well. He also understands that that India is very important for not just UK but whole of Europe, and this is a reason since him becoming the Prime Minister, or perhaps even before that, Boris Johnson was also quite optimistic and was someone who wanted to do a lot of things with India and wants to work for the betterment of India-UK relationship. But since we're talking about Rishi Sunak, so as I did mention last time, Akanksha, that how Rishi Sunak took position completely different from the position which other colleagues of his in government took at the time of BBC documentary, then at the time of raids on BBC offices. That point in time also, Rishi Sunak completely distanced himself from all of the controversy. So he's not just a politician but also a statesman, and he also realizes the importance of India, and he also realizes that already there has been lot of disturbance when it comes to the relationship between the two countries due to the issue of separate due to the Khalistani issue. And also, Akanksha, interestingly, this UK has announced and perhaps pledged £95,000 to fight the extremism on the soil of United Kingdom. So a lot is being done by Rishi Sunak, and he's quite optimistic, and he is someone who is trying a lot to work to build a better relationship, and also especially the focus is on this FTA. If this gets done, then there would be something for Rishi Sunak to perhaps tell his people during the domestic elections. Back to you.